I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. It's been 6 years in the making. Now Ann Arbor is officially the first city in Southeast Michigan to have a universal access playground free to the public. The Ann Arbor Rotary Club's Centennial Playground is making Gallup Park a must-visit destination for families.
We now have accessibility available to all children, all families, all caregivers. Everybody has a safe place to play. It's awesome. Gallup is one of the largest parks in our community, and so when you have 600,000 visitors, the odds are you're going to have a lot of people with disabilities. And since 1 in 5 people have a disability, that's a whole lot of folks that you could be meeting and getting services for. And so we're really excited that it's here.
The Playscape is a safe place where imaginations soar while learning about the landscape of our city.
Children enter the mystical world of fairyland, and they get to see what might happen behind those fairy doors, where there might be a place to play and it might be a place to learn how fairies would enjoy themselves.
These surfaces are all smooth and soft. There's curved surfaces that you can climb on. There's a bird's nest back over there that you can climb up to and then take a slide down. You'll see signs around that tell you, like, this is the prairie section of the park. And it mimics, in a little version of the world of the Gallup Park around us, the sorts of terrains and settings that make up this park. So there's an educational aspect as well.
It's more accessible, and everybody with disabilities, like people in wheelchairs like me, they are able to come here and they're able to enjoy parks.
We're just so thankful that our city supports the continued inclusion and diversity of what makes up our community.
Stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly with more news and information. The Ann Arbor Farmers Market is not only the place to buy fresh local veggies, there's also prepared food to choose from. One Wednesday of the month, the market is taken over by eateries on 4 wheels. The food truck rally is the venue to sample all kinds of cuisines from roving restaurants.
We have anywhere 12 to 15 food trucks that come from all over Southeast Michigan and serve dinner.
So the best of the best in the area, everybody's here. We do it once a month here in Ann Arbor at the Ann Arbor Farmers Market. We just show up, sell the food, sell the drinks, and then we take off.
We have Jamaican food here today. We have your traditional American. We have tacos, Mexican food, a lot of vegetarian and organic options.
The trucks follow the market's mission of local, sustainable food.
Our coffee is local, the cups are local, the tea is local, the cream is local. Everything that we use, is supporting someone who's a small business owner, so you could tell we put a lot of love into it.
One of the wonderful things about food trucks is it allows you to experiment with different menus, different cuisines. You have a way of playing to who is eating your food. There's a lot more flexibility, a lot less overhead, and a lot of the food trucks here are really freaking amazing food.
Transitioning from military service to civilian life can be challenging, but there are programs available to help pave the road ahead. Veterans Education and Transition Services is an organization here to help. Joining us is Colonel George Pettigrew, here to fill us in on ways we can give back to the men and women that serve our country. Welcome to the show, George.
Good to be here, Dana.
Why don't you first tell us about your background in the military?
I'm a 40-year veteran.
Which that alone seems... I'm shocked. Most people, I feel like, don't put in that many years, 40 years.
Yeah. So many more do much more than I've done.
Yeah.
I came in 1976. I was an enlisted person at the time. I actually joined off the streets in Chicago, Illinois. And that was actually my second tour of duty, actually, in the military. I first joined the Marine Corps in 1973. stayed there a couple years, got out, kind of floundered around a little bit, and then I finally joined the Army, and I've stayed there ever since. I'm an infantry officer, a combat arms officer, and after my last assignment in Iraq, I was reassigned here to work as part of a JROTC program.
Can you explain what that JROTC is?
JROTC is the Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, and we train young people in high school. It's the junior program of the Cadet Command's senior program.
Okay.
Senior ROTC is in college.
Yep.
JROTC is in high school. Right now, within the Detroit Public Schools, where I'm primarily working here, we have over just a little bit under 3,000 students in our JROTC program.
Okay.
We have 18 different satellite areas that we work with. And I also provide supply and logistical assistance for other programs throughout Michigan as well.
So your focus really is on education. You're working in the schools, and you're trying to create that bond between education and being a service person.
I am. My whole focus is education, whether it be students on a day-to-day basis, or on a full-time basis, or veterans on a part-time basis. On the weekends, I'm usually working with some kind of veterans organizations. Yesterday, for instance, I was on a recorded telecast with Council President Jones, Brenda Jones. And every second Tuesday of each month, we get on there and we make publications and various announcements about events and opportunities taking place in our community there in Detroit that can benefit veterans as well.
Okay. So why don't you talk about maybe some of the struggles that veterans have when they transition from being in a service person to being just a civilian, and the challenges that go along with being in school and just kind of living life normally?
For many of our veterans, so many of them are very young anyway, and they leave home at the age of 18 or 19, haven't really experienced life a lot. They enter into a very structured, very closed environment, a culture, so to speak. And when they get out after their third, fourth, fifth, maybe even 2 or 3 tours in the military, they find themselves pretty much lost as to how to properly transition and how to assimilate into the civilian sector. And as a result, many young people, many older people go into a college setting. They're not really sure how to acclimate and how to transition in that kind of setting. And many of them don't do well. They end up dropping out after maybe 2 or 3 terms, and they seek some other, low-paying job along the way, trying to support their families and themselves as well. So that's why we brought this here to the forefront. I've had so many of my former, soldiers and individuals contact me via telephone, via email, and say, Colonel Pettigrew, can you possibly help us figure out how we can better transition into civilian life? And so I basically put together what's called the Foundation for Global Literacy. And that's a mechanism that I'm using to help direct veterans, their spouses, and their immediate family into areas where they can better assimilate into a more productive outcome in terms of civilian life in college.
And are there scholarships available for these veterans when they're going into college?
There are scholarships available. There's also what's called the GI Bill, the Montgomery GI Bill, and there's also what's called the Post 9/11 GI Bill. The Post 9/11 GI Bill is the most current, most recent one that we're utilizing now to assist our service members in acquiring a good education. Unfortunately, many of our service members do not realize that if they're interested in passing that on to their spouse or their immediate family members, son, daughters, or whatever the case might be, they can't do that unless they're on active duty. Once you ETS'd or left the active duty, that benefit belongs strictly to you.
Okay, so if you were on active duty, your wife could use the GI Bill to get an education, but as soon as you retire or leave, it's only yours.
Right,
now.
and even while I'm on active duty, I could actually transfer that benefit to my spouse or to my children if I so desire. But unfortunately, so many of them are not aware of that caveat in the contract.
And is that like a full ride education, like your tuition is getting completely paid for? Yeah.
Absolutely. I've never paid a penny for any of my education since I've been in the military, and it's all because of the GI Bill, the Montgomery GI Bill. and even the post 9/11 GI Bill. When I came here to Detroit, rather to Michigan, I applied because since I was in education, I wanted to get a degree in education.
Yeah.
So I applied and I finished my master's in education since I've been here through the post 9/11 GI Bill. You know, so it's very, very lucrative and very opportunistic way of advancing yourself in academics.
And is everyone eligible that serves, or like if you're maybe there's a dishonorable discharge or whatever, or do you not get the GI Bill? How does that work?
Under normal circumstances, you have to have at least a honorable discharge.
Yeah.
You got to have that in order to apply, in order to be eligible for those various government benefits.
Yeah. Yep.
That's where I come in at.
Yeah. You're helping people find the money, basically.
Exactly. If they have a dishonorable discharge, and in so many cases I've found that individuals made a misstep along the way in their career. And even in some cases, dishonorable discharges were given as a result of a PTSD connection. My program, my foundation, is designed to provide the bridge between those two individuals and the opportunity to advance themselves academically. Once I can determine through analysis and evaluation that, for instance, they received a dishonorable discharge as a result of a PTSD-related event in the military, I provide scholarships for that. That was one reason why I wanted to put together this here scholarship gala that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Because I need help doing those kind of scholarships. And right now I'm focusing primarily on the Wayne County Community College. And of recent, I've just developed a partnership with Wayne State. They're also assisting me in this effort as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of difficult, but my goal, my dream, my vision is to get as many people as possible who are in uniform or were in uniform into a classroom, into a college educational setting where they can improve themselves and their families.
So how can people donate to you to help with this scholarship fund?
Quite easily. I have, as I said, I have the Foundation for Global Literacy. We have a website, the Foundation, www.Foundation for Global Literacy, and there's a tab where you can donate to it on there as well. You can call me directly. My phone number is 313-204-6266. I will come to your organization. I'll make a presentation. I'll do whatever you need me to do to help me advance this cause for our veterans. Doesn't matter.
Well, before we go, why don't you just tell people why they should support your cause in any way they can?
In any way you can, because of the fact that there is a tremendous need for skilled trade. There's a need to gainfully employ our veterans. So many of them, as I said earlier, are really floundering. They're not quite sure how they're going to make their next meal or get to the next point and level in their lives. And military personnel are accustomed to just getting a mission and just doing it.
Yeah.
They're not too accustomed to going and asking for help.
Yeah.
I'm the advocate. I'm the guy who wants to get out there. I know, having had soldiers under my command numerous times, they still contact me.
Yeah.
As early as this morning, I had a soldier call me up and asking me for help with getting into a college environment. That's the kind of thing I want to do to help our soldiers. That's where I need people's help to help me build the funds, build the revenue, build the scholarship programs I want, so we can help our soldiers on an ongoing basis. It's not going to be difficult at all, because my website is so accessible. I'm available to make presentations. But the bottom line is there is a tremendous need for our veterans. We need to embrace our veterans, all of our veterans, even the ones who appear to have made some sort of bad mistake in life. Let's embrace them. Let's put our arms around them. Let's help them realize that, yes, you made a mistake. You can overcome that mistake. We can help you overcome that. We can give you a place in line for success later on in life. That's the main thing.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Colonel.
It's been a pleasure being here. All right. Thank
For
you.
more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.